We all have dreams of how we're going to spend our retirement years. What if the state took your dream away? A 5 on Your Side WRAL investigation found the Department of State treasurer overpaid and underpaid millions of dollars of retirement money for years. Who paid? Retirees now dealing with unexpected debt, and they include one woman who called Keely for help.
There's always something to do in the kitchen.
Even in grief, Penny Glenn makes sure everyone else is okay.
Can I offer you something to drink?
She keeps reminders of her beloved husband, Joseph, everywhere, even in the place settings.
I was decorated at Christmas.
The memories provide relief, an occasional smile.
I was with him for over 40 years.
Joe is with Penny still, only now he rests in an urn in the kitchen.
He was my best friend. He took care of me and he loved me. I don't want to cry on camera. This is difficult. This is difficult.
Difficult not only because of the loss, difficult because of how Penny and Glenn spent the last of their 40 years together.
I hope nobody don't never have to go through what I've been through.
Let's rewind to 1996. Joe retired. He worked for the city as a heavy machinery worker, doing the dirty work which kept Raleigh running.
I seen him in knee deep or more water, cold ice water, repairing water mains.
For years, the Glenns received letter after letter from the state's retirement systems division, telling them what their payout was and that it was accurate. Then in 2018, another letter, this one, shattered everything. It told the Glenns there'd been a mistake and that for 17 years, the state had overpaid them more than $241,000. And now Joe and Penny had to pay every cent back.
I read it to him. We looked at each other and we broke down and started crying. Both of us. He said, baby, what am I gonna do? I can't pay back $240,000. I didn't even know that they were overpaying me.
You know, I wish I wasn't doing this interview.
State Treasurer Dale Falwell. Walk me through. 5 on Your Side wanted to know how families could possibly know their payout was incorrect when they were reassured by the state that their payouts were correct.
Sure. That's a great point. But the dates that you mentioned are what we call pre-Dale, because I wasn't the treasurer then.
By pre-Dale, he means a previous administration when Treasurer Richard Moore was in office and the error occurred. Falwell said he had no choice but to go after the money. He told us the state retirement fund is worth $114 billion. And right now, 1 million North Carolinians are on the plan. To put that into perspective, the Glenn's debt is worth about 25 cents to every person on the plan. In other words, the $240,000 is a drop in the bucket for the state, but for the Glenns, it was everything.
I said, he won't never live to pay that back.
What did they say?
She said, well, we'll take it as long as we can. And
they did. Joe didn't hire a lawyer. He didn't look for a way out. The Glenns filed for bankruptcy.
Can you think of a man at 80 years old going back to work?
Joe Glenn in his 80s went to work to pay an impossible debt by delivering parts for O'Reilly Auto.
In so many instances, there will be tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on any one case that we cannot collect because, you know, the person is aged out.
They've died?
Yes.
For all of his effort, Joe managed to pay back $4,976.17 before dying in June of last year.
In loving memory, Joseph Glenn.
But even in death, the state found a way to collect a little more. Joe's pension provided money for his funeral. It was $10,000. The state took that too, leaving Penny to pay for it herself.
Knowing that I'm not able to pay for it now, but because of somebody else's error, that breaks my heart.
This is the man who stitched it up.
It's about taking care of people.
Ramil Ferguson. He owns RM Ferguson Funeral Home. And when he heard the story, he donated the service. Why did you decide to help Penny?
I mean, she was willing to come here and sweep and mop and I'll come clean up. What do you need? A woman at her age should be enjoying her years, not trying to worry about paying off a debt.
It was a show of grace and kindness that Joe never lived to see.
We loved each other.
Now we know that there are 40 other retirees who are in this very same situation, and if you're one of them, we would really like to hear from you.
This sounds so incredibly unfair. What about statute of limitations? How does the state go back decades to get this money?
You're right. In the state of North Carolina, there's typically a statute of limitations for only 3 years. So you can only go back 3 years to recoup a debt. Well, the state in this situation is exempt from it because of the way the laws are written. It's very difficult to kind of deal with this. And in any case like this where someone's trying to take it to court, oftentimes they side with the state.
Wow.
I know a lot of people watching this are probably wondering about their own retirement payout. We have a way for you to go check. Just go to our website, WRAL.com, and go to 5 on your side.
Hopefully people might recognize a problem before it gets to $241,000.
I hope this is a lesson for the department because, with Penny, that was unnoticed for 17 years, and you see how much it added up to.
Man,
It's heartbreaking.
It is. Thank you, Keely. Wonderful story.